Thank you for joining us for this moderated chat room. I'm delighted that we're able to do this on a weekly basis and so appreciate your participation in it. I am Reverend Clark Lobenstein, the Executive Director of the Interfaith Conference, and today's topic is the future of interfaith dialogue. I want to say first of all that I think that the future of interfaith dialogue is propelled by our living situation. We are in a place where people live with, go to school with, work with, live next door to peoples of many different faiths and races and cultures. And so the opportunities we have for engaging people of diverse faiths and races and cultures are exponentially greater than was true for our parents or our grandparents. I frequently ask people when I'm giving talks, how many of you ate something in the last 2 weeks that your grandparents would not even have known about? And almost everyone's hands goes up. So I think that that's one reflection of the great diversity of the situation we're in. And it provides a wonderful opportunity for us to engage with peoples of different faiths and races and cultures in our neighborhoods or in our schools or in our workplaces or wherever we are, perhaps in our marriages and our opportunities for being together. The second thing that I think underlies our opportunities for greater dialogue is that the media provides many wonderful opportunities for encouraging such conversations. We may read that, for example, we're in Ramadan and iftars are celebrated every night by Muslims and those they invite to join them in sharing the breaking of the fast that they've had all day long. Or we might read next month that it's the high holidays for the Jewish community, or that it's coming up at Easter time or Christmas time or Ash Wednesday time or something else, that it's a major holy day for Christians. And so the opportunity to simply ask, well, what does this mean to you? Why are you observing it? Let's not assume that everyone of a faith community does observe these holy days, but let's not forget to ask if they do observe it. Many will say yes. I was amazed years ago, for example, to discover that more people will participate in Ramadan despite its month-long what I think is quite rigorous sun-up to sundown fasting. More people will do that than will participate in weekly prayers of Jummah prayer on Friday midday, and certainly more than will participate in 5 daily prayers. So the opportunity is there for us through lots of media coverage of what's going on, but it's important that we also not assume that our neighbors are observant or observant in that particular way. So I think the future of interfaith dialogue is rich. It's incredibly important to our society, to who we are as people of diverse faiths and races and cultures living together, working together, going to school together, perhaps living in the same household if our arrangements for marriage or other living arrangements are multi-faith, multiracial, multicultural. I think also we have the opportunities in our faith communities to engage with peoples of many different faiths and races and cultures. Well, they may be of the same faith, but I go, for example, to a church that's primarily African and especially Cameroonian. There's lots of opportunities there to learn about and get to know peoples of a different culture. They may speak different languages that are my priority, that are my primary language. So the opportunities are there and come to us within our faith communities. We may worship in a predominantly congregation of one race, all speaking one language, but we know that there are others within our faith community who come from other congregations and who we share some deep bonds with, but who have their own perspectives to bring as people of diverse faiths, races, and cultures. in that tradition. So, essential to the work of the Interfaith Conference is preparing people for and engaging with people of diverse faiths, races, and cultures in the context of our daily work. We have that opportunity certainly each year in November in the big concert where we'll experience our diversity and our unity in very important ways through the expression of song and dance and chant from different traditions. We'll have that opportunity that we've just had, for example, in our Amazing Faith Dinner Dialogues taking places in people's homes. We'll have that opportunity when we have a Spring Public Dialogue again, as we did in April of 2010 at Howard University. And we'll have that opportunity in lots of different ways through the programs of the Interfaith Conference. And as last week, we had a moderated chat room with 3 Zoroastrians. Most people probably watching that, many people watching that, will never have had a chance to interact with a Zoroastrian before. And we welcome that opportunity and privilege and joy that we have in the Interfaith Conference to share those opportunities. I think the initiative that faith communities take and congregations take in that process is very important. For example, the coming anniversary, 10th anniversary of 9/11, 2001, coming up on Sunday afternoon or Sunday all day on 9/11/2011, is a time when congregations and faith communities are doing special programs and are involved with each other. I met recently with the United Church of Christ congregation doing something with a mosque that day, and they really had not done interfaith worship before, and so it was a wonderful opportunity to learn more about what they're doing in that setting. We have other opportunities to come together with peoples of diverse faiths, and for example, a local mosque has 2 of its 7 congregational worship services on Friday midday in buildings owned by Jews and a synagogue. Wonderful opportunities grow out of that opportunity of being there. So what's next in that relationship? How else can we work together? We may be in a congregation that rents space to a group of a different faith, or worships on a different day that within the Christian tradition or whatever. So the opportunities abound for us, and I think that the future of interfaith dialogue is very rich, is very wonderful, and very, very important. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be with you and for the continuing dialogue we'll have online.
Reverend Levinson, one quick question before we wrap up. Your talk was a lot about the growth of opportunity. What do you see new coming up in the young adults? You have a lot of interns coming through here. What kind of new ideas do you see coming out?
So I think that the opportunities we have are significant and they're growing. One of the things that's very clear from the interns we have, for example, is that it's a wonderful reminder that not everyone professes a particular faith. There are many people who come to work with us who are of no faith or are still searching for what their faith will be. And so their participation in the Interfaith Conference and the dialogues we have and related work is an important part of the new aspects of what young people are also bringing to the Interfaith Conference.